Hey, it's Christmas Eve. We've had some storms. We've had some huge storms out here in Eastern Oregon, and I just spent a bunch of time out here today clearing my place. We lost 18 trees on our place, and some intel is telling me that we have trees on our snowmobile trails. So I got my sled. It's actually my dad's sled. Doing a little shakedown on it. And but the cool thing about it, don't tell him, but my saw fits on it perfect. So anyway, got my chainsaw, got this thing all gassed up, and we're gonna rip out here a few miles and see how bad it is. All right, we found our first victim over here, this tree. All right, so it's definitely across the road so the groomer can't get through. I'm just gonna cut it off back here so nobody gets hurt in the season. And then we'll try to pull it over, and then when the groomer comes through, it'll actually push it out to the right side there. And I think we'll be good. Snowmobile's running good. Temperature is probably like 36, 37 degrees. I'm not wearing my normal snowmobile stuff because I put it on earlier today when I was bucking those 18 trees on my place, and I was sweating like crazy. So I dressed down a little bit, and I've only got a couple more hours of daylight left, so we'll see how far we get. Yeah, we had more snow than this. Right now I would guess we only got like a foot, and usually we've got 3-4 feet by now, and it's starting to get really good this time of year. You can see behind me, there is no snow in these trees. There was snow in these trees 36 hours ago. It just warmed up. Rained a little yesterday, I guess. Let's hope that the snow really gets with it. Mother Nature's been a tiny bit confused this year between the snow early, then it warmed up, it rained, we got all this flooding. So let's see what we can do with this tree. Yeah, we got it. Snowmobiles can get through, side-by-sides definitely can't get through. And actually, side-by-sides are not getting through those rocks anyway, unless it's something like 50 inches wide, which most of them are way wider than that, especially when by the time you get the tracks on. So I'm gonna do the best I can filming with just the phone. All right, we went a couple more miles, and check this out. Yeah, that one's a widowmaker for sure. And it's kind of held up on that tree right there to the left. Trying to decide whether to take it or not. I think we're gonna bust down the trail further just to kind of get an idea how many we're looking at on this section, because we got some intel that the wind that we had last week, I think the winds up here were over close to 70 miles an hour. They may have been more. Winds up here were predicted to be 65 today. I don't think we've seen 65. We've seen all of 45 or 50. I kind of waited till it died down to come do this. Obviously it was blowing pretty good at my place, but I had my tractor, and I just cut them a little bit and pulled them out of the way and stacked them up so we can cut for firewood in the spring. But it's sad because we had some really big ones that at some point we could have had cut and sold But 18 of them are gone now. That's just part of being in the forest. Okay, see that little blue Polaris back there? See all that water right there? All this water in front. I'm just trying to gauge how deep it is. Somebody else I can see turned around back here. I went a little further than they did. But with all this warming up, this water is coming from uphill and going downhill, which is what water does, you know? So I'm trying to decide if the safe thing is for me to turn around. The cool thing would be for me to have the GoPro, or like I said, I'm not prepared today. If I would have had the GoPro or the drone, this spot would have actually been kind of cool to blast through and film. Yeah, so I decided to do the safe thing because I'm by myself. Turned around and just backtracked 150 yards or something. Now, thankfully, some folks have been out here doing a little bit of work so they could get through. This one definitely wasn't going to let anybody through till it was cut. That's a big tree. That's a lot of wood. How much of a cord do you think is in that tree? Because that thing, just to kind of give you an idea. Oh man, it's as high as my hip, right? It's hard to tell with the camera, but yeah, that bad boy is up to my hip. So I'm actually gonna put another slice in it up here. That way, when the groomer does come through, he's gonna have a hard time because of the way it's wedged in between these trees. So I'll get the saw out real quick. But I'm gonna pull up a little closer. I don't know why I parked back up here. All right, we got it. Now that groomer, when it comes through the first time of the season, which is gonna be a while because we need a couple more feet of snow before he's gonna come out here, but once he does, he'll be able to push this thing out of the way. Whoever you are, if you end up seeing this, if you're the ones that ended up cutting a lot of these trees out of the way, I want to thank you for being a good Samaritan in that respect. This is as far as you got. So here's where we're gonna take over here. Let's see, there's one here, a little guy. Easy, we can throw it out. Next one. And then there's another one up there. So this is gonna take us a little bit. So what I'm hoping to do is get all this stuff on this side of the highway done. There's a section in between several snow parks that is pretty heavily traveled. All right, we're gonna pull this one out of the way here. Whew. Another one down. All right, we got those out of the way. There's a big guy here. You can see the roots. And then there's at least two up there. I'll zoom in. All right, well, I grabbed my saw and I got looking down towards the ridge. The reason we're losing all these trees is with all this wind, it comes right up the north fork of the Umatilla River. Well, you can see there's a tree over there, another one right there. Of course, there's the tree in front of my snowmobile, the ones over there. But man, if you look right down here, there's several more laid down. This used to be one of my spots on my snow bike that Colby and I would kind of rip down along that ridge. Might make it more of a challenging this year with those there, because those are probably going to stay there. We got to get them out of the trail first. More saws, we'd rip through these quick, but we'll get through them. All right, a little progress report. This one was big enough it would kick my tail here. So as you can see, I had to cut it a couple times because it just kept getting wedged. I even had to cut it 3 times, that little wedge. I rolled this one out of the way. I started cutting up there, but the whole thing is moving on me. Might be kind of a cool shot. We're gonna see here. All right, I'm gonna cut this one. Keep an eye on it. When I was cutting on it, it was looking a little sketchy. Hopefully I don't have to call 911 because 911 takes a while to get here. It wasn't as cool as I expected it to be. It was kind of cool. It flipped up a little bit. I was hoping it was going to go whoop. The sun went down, just went down to the west of us. And I might be able to get this to this spot in my pickup tomorrow because the highway is right behind me. There's still another 7 trees. 7 more that I can see, but we're getting super close to the next snow park. And that was my goal. And who knows, we might come out here on Christmas Day, Colby and I. Yeah, we'll probably come out on Christmas Day. But too bad I couldn't have got that thing to stand up. And that other one, what's funny is that other one, the one that has the crack in half right there, the split down the middle, that had a lot of force on it. I might be able to cut a few feet off of that tomorrow and get it to stand up. And this one I might be able to cut. That would actually be kind of cool if I cut 4 or 5 feet off of it and then it just went. Sun went down. It's gonna get cold tonight. Hopefully it snows like the dickens. In the meantime, we're just gonna keep clearing trails. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I know this was a short video, but All right, so I am on my way back. Decided to take another route just to see, because we have lots of trails in this area. And I figured, well, why not? And then I get to this spot. Yeah, this is kind of a problem. Holy Moses. That thing broke. That thing broke off right there. And there's a big tree. And it goes way. Oh, split those two trees. It was way up there. Another tree. Yeah, there's a little guy there too. This wind was merciless. Merciless. So, guess what I get to do on my Christmas day? Yeah, I might come out here for a while. Do we get paid for doing this? No. Is it fun? I'd rather be snowmobiling, but nobody can snowmobile with this stuff in the way. We want the trails to be open like behind me, not with this in the way.